Scott here, and I'm in the center studio at what I think of as our altar. And tonight I just want to share with you why this website, yourinnerwellspring.org, and why these blogs and videos and why this material now, right? And the answer is because I've been trying to practice what I preach, and I've had dreams and signs and some things that just kind of said it's time. A lot of this material I thought was for my own personal development, like to correct some things in me. And of course, I'm sure that's true, 90% of it probably. But now there's been a few things happen that say, hey, share some of it. And yeah, and it's really for the last 9, 10 years. So I'm going to show you, just because I say I try to practice what I preach. So here's my journal from back then. It started 2/7/13 after a very significant dream sequence, right? And the reason I try to pay attention to dreams is because people did in the Bible. Jesus might not have been born had Joseph not paid attention to one dream. And, Mary might have been stoned to death for adultery. And then, like, Jesus might have been killed at two, if the wise men hadn't paid attention to a dream. These astrologers from the East. And this is the thing, part of my journey as a pastor, actually, journey as a person of faith from about 4 or 5 years old in the Christian tradition, it kept bringing up stuff that I wasn't even being taught in the church. I was Methodist. They didn't talk about paying attention to your dreams, not in a serious way, right? And yet, the more I did research for sermons or whatever, it's like, wow, this is actually how God reached people a lot of the time in the Bible. What in the world happened that we were never really trained to do this stuff, you know? So anyway, it's a lot of what has come in the last 10 years has been really trying to practice the openness to patterns of guidance that we see, especially in the Bible, but of course around the world in many traditions. Because that's what you realize is, of course, God is God of all people, in all places, at all times. And did God, not reach out to other people? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The most insulting thing you can think about God, right there. So, as I've tried to pay attention and really be open, this is what's come in my journey. A lot of the material you're going to find on this website. So anyway, it's time to just share some of this stuff. It's not just for me. But, of course, saying that, always, anything you ever hear from me, ask yourself, does this resonate, right? If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. Skip it. God's going to be leading you some other way, right? But if there is something here, then pay attention, pray about it, see if it continues to resonate and beckons some healing or some deeper, work for you. So anyway, that's why. So the whole purpose of this website, Your Inner Wellspring, is to help you develop habits, patterns woven into your daily life that first help you get to a safe space inside where you're open to the divine, however you envision the higher power, highest being, highest supreme being, whose character is love. And then working with the creative forces that come forth like a wellspring from within. This is what I think Jesus was really trying to help people with. That's why he said in John 4, to the Samaritan woman at the well, the waters I give will become like a wellspring from within you, kind of priming the pump of a wellspring that's there, right? But you got to kind of clear out the blockages, clear out the things that are preventing it from really flowing for you. I think that's what he was doing. And many others, of course, have made huge contributions to that, you know. But that's what he was trying to get people to really get into the love of the real living God. And then as you experience that love, participate in that love for yourself, as well as seek to work with it, and that's going to lead you to love others, right? And be offering love in this world, well, that's when you're going to find a life that's most fulfilling. And that's exactly what I found. And often it's the blockages inside us from whatever source that are the hardest part, right? But then also it's the most healing when we actually are able to just let that flow come where there has been judgment or things that block the flow, and just let it go. It's often we're the ones that have been holding to something we were maybe even certain of. And it turns out, it wasn't even true, you know? So let it go. And then let the flow happen in a new way, and new life comes, a resurgence of life. So it's what resurrection is really all about, right? And it can overcome even a cross, the worst that can happen in this world. So to me, Jesus was a pioneer and perfecter of this. But I don't think he meant for it to be made about him so much as this way and truth of love that he embodied, really revealed. It's about abiding in that love. That whole section of John 14, he talks about abiding in God's love about 40 times in 2 chapters. It's almost like ridiculous. But that's when we really come to the best life, I think, especially from within ourselves. When we learn how to do that, live in the love of God, of the great divine, the great I am, however you envision God. There is this love that is beyond description. And now, in my life, I experienced it from about 4 years old, and I had to learn ways to keep going back to where I could feel it, But then the last 10 years have been adding what I would call openness to the mom side of God and discovering, oh my gosh, a whole another angle on this love. And I see the great I am as this being that's kind of like the yin yang when it comes to the masculine and feminine aspects of love. And I'm going to talk more about this throughout the videos and blogs on this site and share some lessons that have come. And I just hope it's helpful to you in your journey of actually feeling that love welling up within you. And I hope you already are, and this just supports that. And then if you're not very much, this might be a chance to play with some ideas and go to God prayerfully and pay attention to things that come up, especially welling up from within you, like from your own psyche, your own soul. That's where like dreams and just intuitive things and more right brain kind of things, that's where so much healing has happened for me. And I think God often works that way. It's not the only way. There's, you know what I mean? God is amazing. So, if something's really working for you, awesome. And if you're really getting to loving, both for yourself and for others. And if you're not, okay, that's normal. I struggle. I have to really practice this stuff big time. Seriously, pray my butt off. But when I do, I get there, and then I have that love to work with. And that's really what this is all about. So that's why this website now, these videos, these blogs, and I just pray that they're helpful. And if they're not, skip them. Thanks.